Well, that's not good. The township's got some fixing to do. Hey, welcome back to Rolling Hills Farm. Dave here, standing out in intense mosquitoes, looking at overnight flooding. You can see the water is to the top of the banks here, and in fact flooded over this culvert. Heavy rains overnight, washing out culverts all over on area roads and closing roads. Well, that's not a good sign. So there's the road closure, just a half mile down from the farm. You can see where the culvert runs right underneath the pavement. Sometime during the night, it just collapsed. The water's back down into the ditch where it belongs, but it must have been raging. It's an early enough hay season that if it were a little bit drier, we'd be able to get in here, but it's mushy. Standing water. With 2 more inches of rain on the way, forecast in the next 48 hours, I think it may be a little while before we're doing any hay out in these fields. It's a good time to attack a nagging problem with the air conditioning on the New Holland 50/50. It has not worked all spring. This spring doing field work, I was forced to run with the side windows open and sometimes the back window open on the tractor just to stay cool. You see the compressor here, and when you turn on the air conditioning, this clutch right here should turn, and you hear a click, and absolutely no click, and I'm not getting anything but air. Well, so it turns out the pressure is almost zero in the air conditioning system, down to a ½ pound of pressure when it's supposed to be 3½. Unfortunately, after bringing it to a full charge, the air conditioning still did not turn on. Well, after a couple hours work, we've determined that it is this switch. The air conditioning switch has failed. The rheostat right behind there, when you jump it with power, the air conditioning works. So, time to order a switch. And I need the switch, the blue switch that turns the air conditioning off and on. All right, parts have arrived. May or may not be bad. And this little rheostat, which turns the air conditioning off and on. This little baby right here, $357. Little clips. There we go. All right. Here's the bad switch. You see, it just plugs in. All right, take the new switch and clip it in. And it appears to be working. There. The clutch is turning, and the air conditioning compressor is back working. So, what a silly breakdown. Just a worn out switch. So while I've got it in working on air conditioning, it's a good time for its annual oil change. And this year it's due, it's got enough hours on it for the full trans-hydrol change, which means draining all the drive fluid, the trans-hydraulic fluid out of it. You can see I've got some 5-gallon pails of it there, and putting new trans-hydrol into it, as well as oil and filters. Well, here's the box of filters. It's a fuel filter, oil filter. All right, let's see how messy this one is. We're messy. Yucky, yucky, yucky. Well, there, you can see it's draining pretty good. I've got this one full, and this one is just draining. There, draining the oil. There's 2 plugs under there, one on each side of the bottom of the engine block. Still seeping out of there. Let's get that oil filter back on. Full of dirty fingerprints. Let's get some oil. Oh, back in this engine. Perfect. There, fluid's changed now. Let's give it a bath and it'll be ready for doing hay. Well, there, that's a lot of maintenance work done. It's a good time for it when it's really too wet to do any hay work out here on Rolling Hills Farm. But we hope to be getting the hay pretty soon. We just need some sunshine and a little less rain. Unfortunately, the forecast is not cooperating right now. But we'll be back as quickly as we can, as we can get some dry weather. Hopefully we'll be baling hay very soon. We'll see you then. Well, one thing I can do is let the cows into the next section of pasture. Come on, girls. let's go. This is a favorite paddock of theirs. Up high with good breeze. So we'll let them in here for a couple days. You can see the difference. The grass here and the grass over there has been hammered.